Hi Year 4. This week in maths we are looking at converting time from hours to minutes or from minutes to seconds. Now, if you're not confident with telling the time, what I'd like you to do is have a look at some of the Year 3 videos this week, which will give you a really good refresher of using an analogue clock and a digital clock. Because in Year 4 we have to be able to convert between both of those times, and we also need to consider 24-hour time. And those are quite tricky skills, and if you're not feeling confident about them, then please go and have a look at those videos. But if you're ready to go with this one, we're going to be using a recipe book to convert between hours and minutes, because I don't know about you, but I am hungry all the time. Okay, so this is the recipe that I have chosen to look at today. It is for something called ribollita, which it says is an Italian soup, which a bit of Italian language lesson here. Ribollita means reboiled. And although reboiling doesn't sound delicious, the soup looks delicious, especially with that big chunk of bread in it. Now, I'm hungry right now, so I need to see how long this recipe is going to take to make to see if it is something I can wait for. So I'm just going to skim read to find the timings. So it says if I'm using dried beans, drain them after soaking. Cook until the beans are tender, about 1 to 1.5 hours. So let's just make a little note of that. 1 to 1.5 hours. What else have we got? Drain the liquid, pulse some of the beans. In a large saucepan, heat the oil and saute the onion for another 15 minutes until softened. 15 minutes to saute my onions. Excuse my scruffy writing. 15 minutes, and then add the carrot, celery and leek and saute for another 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Add the tomatoes, pureed and whole beans. Simmer gently for 1 hour. 1 hour. And shred the kale, cavolo nero or cabbage leaves. Add to the soup and cook for 10 minutes. That's another timing we've got there. 10 minutes. Remove the sprigs, and then to serve with some toast. Oh, that looks delicious, but can my stomach wait that long? So here we've got some measurements of time. The first one is in whole hours and fraction of hours. Then we've got some minutes. So to make sense of this recipe, we need to convert our whole hours and our fraction of hours into minutes, and then we can add them all up together. Because adding hours and minutes isn't going to work. If I say 1 plus 15, well, they're different units of measurement. 1 hour, 15 minutes. So we've got to convert that 1 or 1.5 hours into minutes. So you should know, and I hope you do, that 60 minutes are in 1 hour. So 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So our 1 hour would be equal to 60 minutes. But it says it could be 1 or 1.5. So we've got to think of both of those possibilities. If it was 1.5, we need to know what half of our hour is. So we need to know what half of 60 is. I'll give you a moment to get to that before me. Try and beat your teacher. What's half of 60? If we know what half of 6 is, we can work out what half of 60 is. Well done if you came to 30 minutes. But it's not just saying half an hour, 30 minutes, it's saying 1.5 hours. So 30 minutes and 60 minutes. So again, try and beat me to the answer. if we're looking at 1.5 hours as minutes, we need 60 and 30, which is going to give us well done, 90 minutes. I'm just going to put 90M because I've run out of space on my page there. So our first part of our recipe, let me remind myself what that was. Cooking my beans could take between 60 and 90 minutes. Now I want these beans to be tender and soft and delicious, so I'm going to go for 90 minutes. But then I had some sautéing and some other things to do. We've got another hour down here. We could be mistaken for thinking that was a minute, but it's not. It's an hour, so we need to convert that. What's 1 hour in minutes? Easy one. 60 minutes. Well done. So we've made our conversion. These ones are in minutes. So now we need to be able to add those all together. So I'm going to put them in a column here just so that I know I've converted them all. 15 minutes can stay as 15 minutes. 5 minutes. And 10 minutes. Okay, I would like you to add up our 90, our 15, our 5, our 60, and our 10. I want you to try and beat me to this, please. I might do it in a bit of a mental method and some written calculations. If you're not sure how to do it, you can work with me, but I'm going to stay quiet for those of you who want to do it on your own. Okay, I'm going to check my methods. I've added my numbers 2 at a time and I've got my answer. I'm just going to check with mental methods. Yeah, I'm happy with my calculation. Pause the video if you don't want to hear my answer, or you've probably seen it already. I've come up with 180 minutes for this recipe. Now our final bit of conversion is, can we convert that back into hours? So we need to divide this by 60 because every 60 minutes counts as an hour. Now luckily for us, we have ended up with a number which is divisible by 60. I know this because I know that 18 is divisible by 6. So 180 must be divisible by 60. How many 60s in 180? Well, we've got 60, 120, 180, 1, 2, 3. So that whole recipe is going to take 3 hours. Oh my goodness. I mean, it looks delicious, but is it that delicious? Is it worth it? Maybe back to the recipe book to find one that's more like 10 minutes ideally. Okay, I would like you now to get your favourite recipe book. Oh wow, that looks more like it. If you've not got a recipe book at home, oh my goodness, yum. If you've not got a recipe book at home, you can have a look online to find some recipes. And I want you to challenge yourself with ones that are going to take over an hour so you can do some good maths and calculate exactly how many minutes they're going to take. Let's have a look at this bruschetta. I think that's how you say it. Cut the tomatoes, slice them thinly, put them in a bowl, whack some olive oil in, put it on some toast. That looks more like it for my lunchtime, but maybe that delicious stew can be for tea. Okay, have fun. Maybe you might actually make your recipe at the end. Either way, send me photographs of your maths calculations, maybe even of your delicious dinner at the end of it. Bye for now.